on Nile TV International.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and you are still watching our program Women's World, and in this segment of our program we will talk about tourism industry and means of enhancing this vital sector in the coming period. Today we are joined by Mrs. Umayma Ramadan. She is a tour guide and tourism expert. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So first, Mrs. Umayma, tell me more about the Ministry of Tourism's efforts to stimulate the tourism industry once again after coronavirus crisis.
Actually, it's for the first time along too many years, we have a very active and promising Prime Minister, Mr. Khaled Anani, and the Ministry itself of Tourism. And they did a great effort to this, as all of us, all the world, watched the Parade of the Mummies and the inauguration of the Avenue of Sphinxes, which happened last month. It was a great thing, yes, and many of the tour operators around the world watched this facility, and they are just waiting for the inauguration, and this has helped a lot to attract again, after many years of waiting, people to come again to Egypt. But still, we have a lot to do and a lot to present to the world to attract more people to come. Yes, but it was a great effort done, and especially after a very long challenges time since the revolution of 2011, and then we started to revive again in 2018 and 2019, and we received 2018 and 2019 a lot of a destination that they would never thought about Egypt. For example, we were depending mainly on the European market, but the amazing thing happened in 2018 and 2019, and those European, for economical reasons and political reasons, they were not our main customers, and we started to attract East European and new markets, Americans and so on. We received a lot of Americans.
And what kind of tourism they are interested in?
Actually, mainly Egypt is very well known as culture tourism. Yeah, of course, we have those wonderful beaches on the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, and people come here for entertainment and shore beaches and resort beaches. Of course, they enjoy a lot, but mainly, Egypt is mentioned, then the pyramids is mentioned. Egypt is mentioned, then Tutankhamun is mentioned. Egypt is mentioned, then the great history. Yes, of course, the pyramids is mentioned. So mainly we depend on culture tourism. Right, so this is when it happened that we received those new markets in 2018 and 2019, they're still reviving again. This COVID and Corona thing happened, and of course affected badly again the tourism. But again, as you just said, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture is starting
to stimulate the tourism.
To stimulate again the tourism, and we're still working on this, and we are expecting, inshallah, a lot of tourists to come at the end of this year as maybe the inauguration of the Grand
Egyptian Museum.
Exactly.
So also, if we talk about opening new markets, and you've just said that before this pandemic we started to receive tourists from different destinations other than Europe. Tell me the importance of this step and this move by the Ministry of Industry, the Ministry of Tourism. Sorry, how can we open new markets, and should we target maybe the African market, as we don't have many tourists? Maybe they come for education in Al-Azhar and things of that sort, but maybe we need to open new markets.
Of course, we need to open new markets. The idea here is the tool, how to open this market. Actually, whom you are targeting? You are targeting everyone around the world to come to visit Egypt, and those people are divided into certain ages. Yes, so we have those people between 50 and 60, and those people are mainly European, and they are somehow offline, right? Since the pandemic appeared, those people started to go more deep into their houses, and they started to obtain smartphones, and they started to look to the online side in their life.
Yes, and this is very important.
This is
the
very
online
important.
marketing.
Exactly, the online marketing. This is the
Are we doing our job in this domain?
Not 100%. Like
We
we
need-
still have a lot to do on this, and we have still to do a lot of analysis. You know, SWOTs and analyzes the markets that we are targeting and how they are dealing with the online. The online now is like, you know, the main tool.
Booking
Right.
online, yes.
Everyone now
Is booking online.
since we are in our homes,
Yeah.
locked. So the only thing is
To plan your vacation from home.
exactly 90%.
That's why we need more promotional campaigns
More
online.
promotional campaigns, and I
Online.
was thinking of even having an application called Egypt Commit application, like free
For Egypt only.
For Egypt.
It is a good idea, yes.
It's very good idea. Everything now is on applications. You know that we have in our trainings that we had abroad. We know, of course, tourism is an industry. Tourism is a business at the end
Yes.
of the day. So if your business is not online, you don't have a business. You are online. I mean line like a queue. So if you don't have yourself online, then you are losing a lot. And we are not online yet. Till now, like we think about online, about our bad idea about like using the internet and the computer and stuff.
Yes.
Although it is the main thing now. If we don't promote ourselves, if we don't put all of this effort done by the Ministry of Tourism and by those experts in tourism in Egypt, if we don't collect all of this and put it online in the certain niches and platforms and channels to reach to everyone all over the world, then we don't have the
tool to attract.
Exactly.
To attract more tourists.
Exactly.
So if we talk about training, do we really need to train more young people
Of course,
to do
of
this
course.
important job of online
Of
marketing
course,
for tourism in Egypt?
because we have this, let's say we have this gap
Yes.
between 2011 and we are 2022 now. During that long
11 years, yeah.
time,
Yes.
right?
Things changed.
Things change, and the people who were working in tourism were not working. So you have this now extremely need of training. Yes, of course, young people.
For online
Exactly,
marketing.
for online market. Of course, yes. It's the future, I think.
Yes, if we talk about the Egyptian state efforts to create new tourist attracting destinations inside Egypt, how do you see this effort,
It's happening.
these efforts by the...
It's happening, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. But the efforts are there and the projects are there. And by the way, maybe like not everybody knows, but Egypt is very well prepared since 30, 40 years for like tourists to come.
Yes.
But the locals themselves, the Egyptians themselves, let me ask you how many people, how many ones in Cairo, for example, especially the young ones, like visited the pyramids, right?
Yes, not so many. Yeah?
Not so many. How many went to Luxor and Aswan and see the beautiful temples and know about the history? Not so many. Of course, like last year and the year before, it was that campaign of spend winter in Egypt that was encouraged by the government, and they offered very good prices for the tickets by Egypt Air, supported like the Egyptians themselves to go and visit this. And of course, it was better than before, but still we need awareness, and still we need like those young ones.
Yes.
To be trained on the tourism sector, also to be trained to know tourism business itself before promoted it online.
Yes. Yeah. Can we count on domestic tourism to make more profit until this pandemic comes to an end, or it's hard?
It's good, of course. It's
yes.
a good. We cannot depend on it to support the industry, but we can depend on that for the training purpose.
Yes.
for the awareness purpose, because everyone now, part of the online, you don't have to go to professional platforms or professional niches. No, you can go through like bloggers, influencers, right? Those young people, like we give them like cheap tickets and we give them like cheap accommodation places.
Actually,
and they can
that took place in Sharm el-Sheikh at the end of last year, when we have some bloggers coming and they wrote about Egypt and yes, foreign bloggers.
This is very,
it was
very
a very
important.
good move. Yes.
Yes. So we need to facilitate for those young people because they don't have enough money, right? So we need to facilitate more for those young people, and we need to select some of those like bloggers and influencers to go and visit. Like for example, this famous blogger Basant, for example, she did a very great effort, and she was the one, she started this, and she showed, like she started to attract the attention of young. But we need to do this through professional ones. I'm telling you that not because I'm a tour guide, but tour guides are the best one to do that job. Why? First of all, because they studied Egyptology, they studied history, archaeology, they know how to speak all the languages of the world. So you need to reach your audience through the languages. Yes, Basant is a great one, but Basant is a great one for Egyptian because she's introducing her exactly in Arabic. But we need to do the same like Basant from professional people, from tour guides. By the way, we don't have that so many, so it's easy to select tour guides speak all the languages of the world.
Because
English,
many
French.
tour guides left the industry
exactly.
in the past years.
Actually, we don't have the right to leave the industry, but the thing is that we don't have a job, okay? You don't have a work, so why not to get benefit of them? I mean, but ministry, and this is very, very, very weird actually. I mean, when we do like, when those expeditions and those like, like the Expo of Egypt or the Expo of Dubai, for example.
Dubai Expo 2020.
Exactly.
Yes. We have the Egyptian pavilion there.
Yes, we
He's
have.
promoting for Egypt.
Who is sitting there, ma'am? Who is sitting there in this Egyptian pavilion?
I don't know.
Some employees.
Yes, employees.
From
the Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Tourism.
Do you think that this is enough?
Yes.
No. It's not the right channel.
More representatives.
Exactly. I don't underestimate them. They do their job.
Yes.
Okay, but this is not the target beyond the pavilion. This is not the target beyond presenting Egypt or promoting Egypt in different markets outside. You need to have specialized people, right? You need to have those tour guides. We have like more than 30,000 Egyptian tour guides in all languages of Egypt.
Maybe both of them can work together in parallel.
Of course,
yes.
The employees, they do their job.
Yes, and
administrative wise.
Yes.
Okay, and we do presenting Egypt history wise, archaeological wise, and connect with people. You need the Spanish market, then
okay, you have
talk Spanish. You need French market, then talk. You need the African market, talk Swahili.
Yes.
We have Swahili language tour guides. You need the Indonesian. We have Bahasa language. To talk the same language.
Yes, very good idea.
Exactly. Yes. This is like we need to talk the language. This is on the websites of any company, of any tour operator. We speak your language. You need to, yes. The audience needs to receive,
to approach tourists.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Finally, I'd like to thank you, Mrs. Umayma Ramadan, tour guide and tourism expert.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yes, and viewers, by that we come to the end of today's edition of Women's World. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.